Tell us about the deal you're reporting on.
Yeah, so it's happening as we speak. So this is going to be announced in the next week or two that Embracer Group is selling essentially Saber, which is a big subsidiary of Embracer Group, is going to go private. So a little bit of context here. Embracer Group is the Swedish gaming conglomerate that made a lot of headlines a couple of years ago because it was buying up companies all across the video game industry, a huge spending spree back in the halcyon days of 2021 when the interest rates were low and buying was easy. But of course, things have changed, and Embracer Group has since embarked on a cost-cutting initiative that has led to carnage across the video game industry. It has shut down studios, laid people off, and now it's just looking to shed costs whenever possible. This is the latest move on that front.
And overall, when you see these cancellation of projects, when you see ultimately companies doing deals like this, does it speak to some of the pressure points that we're seeing across the entire industry?
It definitely does. And yes, just this week alone, I mean, we've just seen it's been a bloodbath. Sony has laid off 900 people. EA just said last night it was laying off more than 600 people. Yeah, we're seeing a climate. A lot of it, there are a few factors behind all of these layoffs, but I think the biggest one is that during the pandemic, when there was a lot of growth in the video game industry, a lot of these companies just swelled, they bloated, they hired too many people, and now they are kind of, they're facing the math. They are looking at the numbers. The numbers have gone down a little bit. The growth hasn't been quite what it was when everybody was stuck at home playing video games, but the overhiring is still there. And as always happens, the people who actually made those decisions are sticking around. It's the people who got hired who are suffering as a result of this.
Jason, the other top story that our audience is following is Rockstar Games, the studio behind Grand Theft Auto, telling its employees, according to your reporting, to come back to the office 5 days a week, starting in April. What do you know about the decisions behind that move?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think that in a lot of industries obviously are grappling with this question of returning to the office after employees have gotten used to either working hybrid or working remotely. With the gaming industry, it plays off on the topic we were just talking about, because the volatility of the video game industry is such that people have to uproot their lives constantly for new jobs. And so remote work is very much a shield against that volatility. And so for a company like Rockstar, which is one of the leading video game developers, to come out and say, hey, we need you all to come in 5 days a week, really strikes it's a big contrast between what we're seeing elsewhere. Yeah, Rockstar, their rationale here, it's largely because of security. And so they've suffered from some huge leaks of the next Grand Theft Auto game. There was one in 2022 where a bunch of early footage from the game got leaked and dropped on the internet. And then last December, just a couple of months ago, when they were planning on releasing their new trailer, their first trailer for GTA 6. It was actually leaked on Twitter a few hours before it was due to go up. It was pretty ridiculous, actually. It was leaked with like a giant chyron in the middle saying "Buy Bitcoin." It was very, very bizarre sequence of events. The game is set in Florida. I joked at the time that it's the most Florida thing ever for the game to leak in that fashion. But this is one of the main reasons that they're doing this return to office, because they believe that their security was compromised as a result of people working remotely.
What's interesting, though, is we've seen it at other tech companies. I think of Grindr, who said, look, come back to the office, and it actually helps them reduce their workforce with more of a natural attrition version, because they're like, look, if you're not going to abide by some of our rules, you need not come back. Is that kind of what's playing into this as well, Jason, even though they are playing up the security side?
That is an extremely common theory, I will say, and I've heard that not just attached to Rockstar, but also to a bunch of other companies. Blizzard last year was big on return to office, and one of the theories was, hey, is this just kind of a soft layoff? Is this a way that we can lay people off without actually laying people off? Because we know that X% of people will leave when they're forced with the prospect of having to go back to the office 5 days a week. So very common theory. I don't have anything that can prove that, but it's certainly logical